Is it possible his government will hit $1 trillion of debt this year?
One of the jobs of any MP, especially an opposition MP, is to keep a check on how the government is spending your tax dollars, even during a pandemic. This goes back to the Magna Carta. It goes back centuries, back to the days when kings thought that they could just tax people and spend the money how they see fit.
Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice. And how'd you get that, eh? By exploiting the workers.
And the people paying the taxes said, wait a minute, we want a say. It's continued through good times and bad, through war, through peace, and yes, even through pandemics. But right now, in the current pandemic, the Liberal government of Justin Trudeau doesn't want to answer questions. The Prime Minister bristles when asked questions about how money's being spent. And his Finance Minister, Bill Morneau's not doing any better. Conservative MP and finance critic Pierre Poilievre found out the other day that the government was facing a $1 trillion debt this year. Our national debt is going to go over $1 trillion, and yet the response of the finance minister was, things are fine and the balance sheet is strong. So Poilievre decided to put some basic questions about the balance sheet to the finance minister.
What is the dollar value of the total assets of the Government of Canada?
That seems like a fair question. Bill Morneau should be able to answer that, right?
We were given incorrect information on the Auditor General, which I'd like to be able to provide more information at my next response.
Okay, that wasn't exactly an answer now, was it? He didn't even talk about the subject. Let's see what Poilievre comes up with next. Next question?
And what are the total liabilities of the Government of Canada?
All right, again, a simple question. If you're the finance minister, Morneau can answer that, can't he?
It's shocking when people bring forward information that is actually incorrect to the House to try and make a point.
Again, no. Let's try one more time and see if Finance Minister Bill Morneau can answer the question.
What is the equity of the Government of Canada's on the Government of Canada's balance sheet?
Again, simple enough, but will he give an answer?
I would advise a member of Carleton to memorize those Auditor General figures for his next foray into the House of Commons.
Nope, not an answer at all, which led Poilievre to come to this conclusion.
There are three components to a balance sheet: the assets, the liabilities, and the equity. And the minister doesn't know any of the three. So clearly he doesn't actually know anything about our balance sheet. That's reassuring.
Look, the federal government is currently spending billions of dollars, billions upon billions. We're going to hit a $252 billion deficit just this year because of the pandemic. And they've got the support of the opposition parties, but the opposition, that doesn't mean the opposition parties have to stop asking questions. In fact, whether it's the Conservatives or the NDP, they've been asking good questions. They've supported the government in passing their emergency package to help out Canadians in the middle of this, to help out Canadian businesses, and they've also offered constructive suggestions. That doesn't mean that the government gets a free pass and doesn't have to answer basic questions with basic information. No, they should be answering questions. They should be welcoming criticism. When we ignore criticism, we can ignore our own faults. And at this point, the Liberals' main fault, their most deadly fault, is showing through. And that is the fault of arrogance, the thing that tends to bring down Liberal government after Liberal government. They're being arrogant with how they're spending your money. They're deciding that you don't need to get an answer, that the opposition parties don't need to get an answer. That's not true. That's not how the way our system works, and it's not how it should work. So bravo to Pierre Poilievre for asking the questions. Shame on Bill Morneau for not answering them, and let's hope that in the future we actually get some answers.